Hello, hello. This is alright. First review is gonna be a gold review. Maybe I actually should do this instead of putting the visions, because I'm pretty sure that this is a node review. Alright, a node rank. I can use this area that we have to put the platform, right? I have 2 PC reviews and 1 console review. Yeah, I think we should use this. Have this be on console. Yeah. And now, what do we want to do? Go here. And then we can start the review. The new replay is a little bit weird. I'm used to the old replay, so sometimes I'm gonna be pressing the wrong buttons.
Let's get this done. I understand.
It's also important to note that this is a quick play VOD instead of a ranked VOD. The good thing is, this is King of the Hill, right? So King of the Hill is at least gonna have the same model as ranked instead of just being like 1 round.
Much better.
But yeah, right off the bat, there's already a lot to talk about. So, at the very start, here's a quick tip. You can just, no, it doesn't matter as much if a comp that is this mobile, but you can just swap to Symmetra, walk out of your spawn, TP your team out to this high ground, then wait for your team to TP, select Genji, dash out of spawn. This helps your team be faster than the enemy team. And that is very important, right? Why? This map is mirrored, right? So the team that gets here first has better map control. And the team that wins first fight in King of the Hill usually wins the round. So the first fight is really important. And you as Genji having dash and being also faster than the other DPS, Genji and Tracer both move 0.5 meters per second faster than the rest of the DPS cast, and also the rest of the whole cast, right? They have this neat little quirk. Means that you can TP your team out to give your team a speed advantage, and then you dash and you're not far behind your team. So that's a cool little trick that you can do. Right? Because as you can see, sure, your Ashe is AFK, but look at where you are compared to, for example, your Kiriko and your Moira, right? Your Doomfist is already here because he's very mobile, right? But imagine if your team, instead of being basically in the same position as the enemy, already has control over the points. So that means that the enemy would have trouble getting to this positioning. So at first, you tunnel vision a little bit on the... Wait, can I not press the speed button? Is replay broken? Okay, this seems to be broken. Unlucky. First, you tunnel vision on the Junker Queen. You have not seen her use Shout yet, so she's still very tanky, right? Yo, what up you? How are you doing? So the Queen is already very tanky. She's going to be able to self-heal if you get too close, and Doomfist wants to get close, right? Unless he properly CCs her when she's trying to use cooldowns like Carnage, right? But she should still have a lot of sustain. There are 1, 2 supports here. One of them is pocketing the Junker Queen, so she's not a great target for you to go for. Tanks in general are not a good target to go for, especially on Genji, especially in Overwatch 2 compared to Overwatch 1. So then, I like that you turn and try to look for a squishy. One issue here though, you're gonna see, you're not in danger, okay? Let's look at your health. You're full, you're still full HP. Now is the only moment that you started taking damage, right? So if we back up here, there isn't really a reason for you to be rushing your shots. There's also not a reason for you to be moving this much and making shooting the enemy harder than it needs to be, right? So, Kiriko is trying to shoot at you, I would guess, but she's missing. The Mercy can't really shoot at you. The Junker Queen, you have bypassed, you're ignoring her, she's probably fighting your Doomfist, right? Yeah. So this leaves what DPS to shoot you, right? Maybe the Sojourn, but the Sojourn isn't looking at you. And you haven't seen the Hanzo already yet. And the Hanzo isn't at enough angle, so you're pretty safe here. If you take damage from either the Kiriko or the Sojourn and then you go below a certain health threshold, so for example, for Sojourn she can deal 130 damage with her railgun shots. She can obviously crit that and one-shot you, but that's something to keep in mind. Like, you cannot just always play around the one-shot, but you can play around the body shots, right? If you stay above 130 HP, she cannot body shot kill you. If you stay above 120 HP, a Kiriko can't headshot finish you, right? So as long as you haven't taken that damage and you don't see the glow on Sojourn's gun, right, increase a lot, so you know that she has a charged railgun, you don't have a big reason to be moving around as much. You can just sit at ground level, move a little bit left and right, but you're gonna be aware of that, and then you're just going to be able to spam the Mercy more consistently, right? Because of all your double jump, you end up overcompensating for your movements vertically and make your aim harder than it needs to be, not landing a single shot, right? Why aim both in the x-axis and the y-axis when you can only go ahead and aim on the x-axis, right? You're not in danger, you don't need to be doing crazy movement, right? Yo, what up Jasper, how are you doing? This is something that I went over in the aiming section of my Overwatch 2 Genji guide video, right? But if you want more details, you can also go and check my aiming guide that I released a while back, which I would highly recommend. It talks about a bunch of different aiming techniques and also everything that composes aiming, right? As much as console is handicapped, or rather, I don't know if handicapped is the word that I want, actually. I know that I always use this word wrong, but console has a disadvantage, right, as far as aiming goes, because sure, they might have aim assist, but aim assist isn't strong compared to games like Apex, right? Where console in certain situations is just straight up better than PC, right? So console has this slight mechanical disadvantage compared to PC, but that doesn't mean that console has to have bad aim, right? Or have difficulties aiming, right? Because aiming consists of much more than just mechanical skill. For example, how you move matters a lot. If you try to aim to the right and you move to the right as well, you have two movements to the right, so you might as well end up overshooting your targets. If you move to the left, you're gonna move your crosshair less to the right because you're counteracting that movement of your crosshair with your actual character movement, right? So those are important things to keep in mind. It's not just moving your crosshair around with your mouse or your controller stick, right? It is also your movement, enemy movement, how easy or how hard the shots that you have to take are, etc. And those are things that I talk in depth in my aiming guide, so I would highly recommend that if you're struggling with aiming, right? But basically in this situation, since you were in no risk, there is no reason for you to make aiming harder on yourself, right? And this is why you don't get a good opportunity to kill this Mercy. You end up rushing your dash because you feel like you are deep in enemy territory for too long and you feel like you're just gonna die at any point if enemy turns at you. So you feel rushed to back out, and you also feel rushed to pressure this Mercy because you haven't been hitting your shots, right? And this gives her the opportunity to run away because now you don't have dash to follow her if you drop her low, right? You drop her to half HP but you can't follow. Yo, what up TJ, how are you doing? If you want to... You're the one that's getting VOD reviewed right now, right? If you want to join me in a voice chat call during this VOD review, yeah. If you want to join me in a voice chat call during this VOD review so you can ask me questions, we can chat, etc. Just let me know here in YouTube chat and join voice chat/Q in the Discord, and I'll pull you to the voice chat that I'm using here on Discord while I'm live. But if you don't want, it's fine, you can also just chat with me here in the YouTube chat. Now, because you're back, you're kind of forced into shooting the Junker Queen while you don't have anyone better to shoot. And now you're at 1 HP, and you are gonna be getting away. And now, again, you don't realistically want to be fighting the Junker Queen, but you don't really have a choice because you're walking in and the first person you're seeing is her, right? That's something about pathing. Now though, you see the Sojourn is close to you and now you decide to fight her, which is good. You choose not to go for the... not to be going for the Junker Queen, but instead going for the Sojourn, which is a way better target, right? It's a squish instead of a tank. This deflect, there isn't really a reason for you to be using it, right? So, deflect, if you're playing on high latency, I can understand the preemptive deflects way more. I used to play a lot of high latency. I might even still have to play on high latency because of the kill times in my server. At least when I reach higher rank, right? When I reach Grandmaster, that will probably be the moment that I might not be able to actually queue in my server. But that's besides the point, right? On low latency, and I would guess most players play on low latency, you should be trying to, for the stuff that you can react to it, instead of having to preemptively deflect, right? Because preemptive deflect has way less value, right, than a reactive deflect has. Granted, there are situations that you want to use it, so for example, you're crossing a dangerous sightline against a sniper that can one-shot you, so instead of just giving them the chance of one-shotting you, you just don't risk it and you cross their line of sight with deflect, right? But in this situation, you haven't spotted the Hanzo, you're deflecting after you saw the Junker Queen that was walking behind cover and the Sojourn that was also lining behind cover. You were not in danger in that situation, so that ended up just being a waste, right? What up, Nautilus? How are you doing? And then, now you are in a duel, so all of these movements does make it harder to a certain extent for the Sojourn to hit you. But you're gonna realize that she is hitting you way more than you are hitting her. So as much as this movement might seem like, okay, I'm gonna make it harder for her to aim at me, is it worth it? So, when you're... First things first, right? Not all movement is good. So, Genji has double jump. If you, for example, double jump above someone's head, so let's say this is your target, right? And this is you. And you double jump above their head and go behind them, they are forced to do a 180 turn to look at you. Or they have to do awkward aim above them as you go. If you don't do that, you're simply putting yourself in easy trajectories for the enemy to hit you, right? A normal jump is already an easy moment for you to take opportunity of to hit shots, right? Because jumping puts you in a predictable arch trajectory. so that's easy to aim at. Genji with his double jump can manipulate it a little bit, but after he burns his double jump, unless he's close to a wall to manipulate his vertical movement again, or dashes to manipulate it in that other way, right? He is going to be putting himself in an even further disadvantage by making it even giving your opponent more time to predict your trajectory, right? Because instead of being a small arch, it's going to be a big arch. Or if you try to hang back, it can be something like this and then this, right? A lot of different things about the vertical movement that can be useful, but you have to know how to apply them. So usually double jumping above someone is good if you actually cross sides with them, right? And force them to 180, force them into awkward vertical aim. If you don't, you're just giving them easy shots. Unless that is your objective. Not in the scenario. In this scenario, because you are down deflect, you cannot use that for a bait. One example might be you double jump to bait someone into thinking, okay, I'm gonna wait for Genji to start falling for him to be in an easy trajectory, and then you want them to think that, and then you deflect the shot back at them, right? And you turn the tide. You use that as a trap. That is also a really cool thing that you can do. But you're down deflect, so you cannot do that play. You're far from wall, so you cannot further stall in the air and change your movement after double jumps, right? And also, you can manipulate it with the dash, as I said, and this is a really good use for double jump, one of the best uses it has, right? Because if you want to combo someone, you want to dash right at their feet, so that you're right in front of them, so you can land a clean secondary fire plus melee combo, right? For a big burst damage. But in this case, you didn't even use it, right? So all you did was make it easy for the enemy to aim at you, right?
Much better.
Yo, what up, Churo? How are you doing? Accuracy up close, I get lost with the enemies. The first thing I would say is one. First I actually want to know, because I don't know how new to the game you are, how much time you have, right? Especially in Genji, right? So, how much time you have, but even, it doesn't really matter because, alright, it matters, but even if you have a lot of time, you don't have to feel bad, for example, if you can't aim. Because aiming is hard, right? And different players are gonna have different times to learn skills, right? So, you might have 5 hours in the game, and that's why aiming is hard. Or you might have 100 hours in the game, but you simply are not a really fast learner, a natural FPS gamer, for example, right? So, it's completely fine. The main thing that I would say is one, playing to get more used to it, and two, or rather, three things. Two, drills, right? I have a few videos on Genji drills that I would recommend, some workshops. You can also always ask in my Discord server for some codes because people are always sharing those there for practice and stuff. But the main thing I would say for you, as I recommended before, is my aiming guide, and for you to focus more on your aim instead of focusing so much on your movement, right? So, sure, this is gold, and this is gonna mean that you having bad movement won't punish you as much. I'm not trying to give you a cheesy strategy to win, but most of the time, if you are close to a target on Genji, you are more dangerous than they are to you, right? You are going to, as long as you're hitting your shots close range, Genji has very high DPS compared to other characters, right? He even has the potential to one-shot them with triple headshot plus melee, right? Dealing 204 damage. So, one very important thing in duels is going to be noticing what balance do you want between your movements and your aim. So in this case, you are moving too much, trying to dodge shots and focusing too little on your aim. When if you are close range and you're just on the ground, only having to aim at the x-axis, right, horizontal, against this soldier, you don't have to be moving your crosshair up and down. And then you just stick close to her, and then you hit headshot, 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 headshot. That is way easier than for you to have to be moving your mouse like this, right? You can just move your mouse like this and be hitting the shots as long as you keep your crosshair head level, right? Then, as long as you're consistently hitting those shots, you are probably in the advantage against the Sojourn. As you get more used to the game, so you might feel like, okay, against Soldier, I have more DPS than him close range, but against the Cassidy, I don't, right? This is going to be something that you're gonna have to learn over time, how to judge how threatening the duel is, who has the advantage. If you have the DPS advantage, you can focus more on your aim and less on your movements. If your opponent has a DPS advantage, you should focus more on your movement than on your aim, right? That's a good general rule of thumb. And especially in a situation like this, where the Mercy decides to go ahead and pocket the Sojourn, you either kill her fast or you get out, right? That's how you do it. At this point, you're at 67 HP, and she's getting pocketed, and she's full health. Unless you one-shot her, you are likely dead very, very soon, right? Yo, what up, Finn? How are you doing? I don't think that the bot is gonna work, unfortunately. Yeah. But I do like that you ignore the Junker Queen so far whenever you could. Okay, you're deflecting to respect the Hanzo. That is a good use of a preemptive deflect. And it was clunky, right? This duel was a little clunky. But you did have the right intention. You see the Hanzo isolated, you deflect preemptively when walking past the corner, because you don't know if he has Sonic or not, so you want to be able to see him and deflect to not get headshot and die, and then when you can, you try to finish him. Now that you know that he's low, you try to go in for the dash finish, end up wasting it, but the mechanics are gonna come over time, right? Hit the Mega, good, and now you're in the enemy backline. And here, quick example for what I was talking about before. You're not double jumping so much here. You hit way more shots now than you hit before because you were just staying at a horizontal level, only having to aim in one axis instead of two. Right? Again, you're hitting a lot of your shots now because you're just aiming on one axis. It's way easier task. And then you decide to go for the Junker Queen because she's stalling points, she's also kind of isolated, and you're trying to punish her for overextending. Which is good in that situation if all of the squishes are backing up. But in general, your targets are gonna be the squishes, right? You're gonna be trying to set up for the squishes. Oh, unfortunate. If you wanna wall climb that, you can. You just have to do it either more to the left or more to the right to avoid this bell. Because there is a small space that you can do this, right? There are these windows that you can use to cross this. I don't find this very useful unless you're trying to find a good angle, right? So you can spam the stairs, right? The enemy stairs towards points that you can't really do from a low angle. You can also use this pillar to be able to spam the stair, but also it's a very awkward distance for Genji because his projectile speed is kind of slow. Yo, what up, Mr. Beebs? How are you doing? How do you get replays? Very simple. You go over to your career profile, right? So, career profile. In this case, it's not gonna be appearing because I'm on a replay, so let me quickly get off this replay, right? History. And then there are gonna be these three things: highlights, game reports, replays. You go over to replays, there are all of your replays, right? So these are the last 10 matches. You can, for example, oh, I really like this match. Wait, did I press view on accident? Oh yeah, I pressed view. You can also, for example, if you don't want to lose one of the replays, so for example, you play 11 matches, then your last replay on the list will get deleted, right? If you don't want to lose any, for example, oh, I really like this Ilios match that I had, you can go ahead. I pressed the wrong button. and you can pin it. I'm pressing a lot of the time the wrong buttons because I'm used to Overwatch 1. And see, now it is pinned. Now it is only going to be removed from here after you after there's a patch, right? Replays reset every patch, but this way you don't lose a replay that you want to be able to check later, right? You can also add notes if you want, and if you want to share your replays so that I can, for example, watch them, you can give them to a coach or simply for someone else to view it. You press this button here, share. This is gonna create a code. Gonna be 6 letters or numbers mixed and matched. Copy, and then you can go here and import that code, right? Which is what I did with all of these 3 replays that I'm gonna be VOD reviewing. Yeah, I do review. I was a top 500 tank and DPS player, and I feel like I could get Grandmaster and support. I was just too bored of support in Overwatch 1. But I feel comfortable reviewing most characters to a Master/Grandmaster level, and Genji is up to the highest level of play, realistically. But what would be the character that you would want a review on? I also quickly want to point out, right? Shoot, 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 you're hitting everything, right? You don't have to feel bad about, oh, I'm sometimes like being confused on where my enemies are and stuff like that, because you just proven that you can hit your shots consistently, right? It's a lot about movement and reading an enemy movement, right? You saw that your enemies were walking a straight line, you properly moved to follow them and you hit all of your shots, right? Yo, what up, Proxys? How are you doing? You started mouse and keyboard. Just as good as you were with controller? I have no idea because I never played console to be able to compare. But it also depends on how much effort you put into aim training specifically, right? So if you just play the game, you are going to get more used to mouse and keyboard over time. But if you go ahead and load up aim practice modes, for example, such as the ones that I put in my Genji drills video, then you're going to be learning that faster because you're going to be aiming for you're going to be more actively focused on aiming instead of focusing on everything, aiming, pathing, target priority, etc., all of the things related to the game, right? And you're also going to be having a bigger concentration of that aim training, because in the game, you're not all the time aiming. You're a lot of the time looking to stabilize for health, right? Walking out of spawn, etc. In an aim training, you're constantly aiming, right? So it depends on how much time you want to focus on pure aim training compared to just playing the game, right? Here, the one thing I don't like is how you swap to the Junkie Queen after you just got good damage on the Sojourn, right? Sojourn is a way better target. As you're gonna be seeing here, right? Pay attention top right. Hit one shot on the Sojourn. That was 1/4 of her HP. Right? You hit 2 shots on the Sojourn, or rather on the Junker Queen. She's one of the least tanky tanks, and it's basically the same damage as you have done to the Sojourn. And she hasn't even used Shout yet, which is gonna give her extra 200 HP, right? So it's much better for you to focus the Sojourn compared to the Junker Queen. That's a good deflect. Unfortunately, you don't properly camp the Mega and the Sojourn steals it from you. But it was a rough situation for it to be put in. Arguably better for you to, instead of staying here and waiting for you to stop being anti, you just run further into the enemy backline and grab the Mega. And don't give them a chance to chase, and then you can walk climb and go here, and then it is rough for the enemy to catch you. You can live in the enemy backline if you know map position and you play your strengths, right? jumps too much. Still have points. And this I like. Now you're grabbing high ground, you're keeping a good position. Yo, thanks for the subs, Ace and Matt V. Alright, quick few notes. This is interesting, you get high ground. You can also, instead of dropping, which is what you did, you can also just land on this pillar. This makes it harder for the enemies that are staying here, right? Trying to use these walls to cover and peek, shoot your team, to be able to hit you, right? Because of this. This is gonna be providing you decent cover, especially if you double jump here. Now this is a good moment to double jump, because then you're gonna be avoiding their line of sight while you can shoot down on the wrist, right? While she is solo pushing. You bully the Orisa, you get her low. And this is gonna be a good blade cleanup. Let's go back a little bit. Kiriko used her Suzu, which is very good. You probably wanna usually bait that out before blading. And then you blade while close range to the squishies. This is a good blade. In this case, you didn't notice the audio from the Hanzo on your right side, and your Zarya killed him. But in other situations, maybe because you didn't notice, he kills you or something like that. But that's just a small commentary here. This was, in general, pretty well played. I wish I could speed up. I don't know why the replay viewer seems to be so bad in Overwatch 2. I don't know if that is something that I need to change my settings on or what. Do I do VOD that aren't competitive? Yes, I do. This is a quick play VOD. I don't think they are the best. Usually competitive is gonna be better because people are, well, more competitive, right? They're trying more. People can't just leave mid-match. Or at least you're gonna see way less leavers in competitive, right? And also the game mode is better. In this case, King of the Hill or Push are gonna have the exact same model as quick play is gonna be. So quick play and competitive have the exact same length in quick play and... Wait, I'm repeating myself. But for example, if you're trying to play a game of hybrid or escort, you're only gonna see one side, or either attacking or defending. You're not doing both like you are in competitive. So competitive in general is better, but you can't submit me a quick play code, Mantis. And here I'm gonna quickly comment on this. This was very well done. You came from a high ground angle, she did not notice you were there. Now here, I don't hate the fact that you were engaging that Kiriko like that. You pressure out a lot, you force your Suzu, they're Valking and the res. But now that you're resing and now that you are without your dash and not realistically gonna kill anyone, right? And SLN, for example, one shot, best thing for you to do is just, okay, I did what I should have done now, I tried to go for a second kill, I didn't get it, so let's just grab high ground, right? Wall climb here, make it harder for the enemy team to get to you, and then you just reset the exact same way as you did to try to kill the, alright, you set up to try to kill someone the exact same way that you just killed the soldier, right? With surprise play, coming from an angle, instead of just staying in danger here. Because now you only have your deflect. Granted, the soldier doesn't push you, but considering that she has double support to pocket her, she could probably have pushed you and killed you there. Try to punish her after Zarya pushes, which is good, you notice the timing. Yo, thanks for the sub practice. But yeah, that's gonna be round.
Our enemies are weak. This is our chance.
Eyes on the bad guys.
And here, again, same issue that I would say with the first round. You're just walking main. What is the first target that you see?
Eyes on the
A tank. You don't want to fight this tank. In fact, because he used rock and you try to deflect, if Zarya doesn't bubble you, this Sigma one-shots you and you're dead. If you see rock, you should be dashing out. You should be respecting that. Right? Do get alive because of that, but now this is a really bad engage. Why? You are now stuck in the middle of 3 enemies. Your team is far behind, not realistically gonna be able to help you anytime soon, or maybe they are gonna be able to push up and help you, but you're still in a relatively bad situation here. You don't know where the enemy DPS are. Actually, where are they? Okay. Hanzo is here, and the other DPS just left. That is one issue with quick play, right? There is someone that is filling, but they haven't even picked a hero yet. Right? Now, what do you do here if they shoot you? You are gonna have to wait a little bit to get any support from your team. You're down your deflect, you're down your dash. Right? And you're not realistically finishing anyone anytime soon. Right? Yo, thanks, Jasper. You're gonna be fine in this situation. The best thing for you to do there, though, if you wanna live, if you feel like you're in danger, because let's say you engage that and then you notice, uh-oh, I'm in a bad spot. Where is the closest cover that you can use to try to wait your cooldowns to reset? In that case, you dashed around here. You're very close to this pillar. This pillar lets you line of sight the Sigma if you stay around here when he was around these stairs, and it lets you LOS the Kiriko if you walk a little bit further back, right? Already you walk closer to the wall here, but you don't only LOS the Sigma. This way you also LOS the Kiriko by being a little bit further back so that she can't just walk to the right side and pick you like this, right? With this line of sight on you. So this would be a good temporary cover. If they push you, they might be able to kill you since you're down your cooldowns, but it's better than you just crossing in the open in front of 3 enemies, right? And then if you get to stall this area enough, right, behind this cover for a long time, you can just, for example, dash out. You can dash here, and then you have this big area to cover if the enemies are forced to back up. You can try to dash inside, or you can just wait for a deflect and try to do this small rotation. Although then you have to be careful about rock, right? But you have to consider that you don't always need to play passive and be like, okay, this dash is gonna, if I don't kill someone, I'm gonna be in a completely safe. Granted, you can stall in a spot, right? This is gonna be temporary cover because the enemy can just push you and kill you if your team doesn't push, right? You cannot really guarantee that they are. And because of that, if you go dash, try to go for the Mercy, don't kill her, go here. One also other thing that you have to consider is, do the enemies actually want to push me? Right? Because you can actually use this play to push for space. You don't have to be like, okay, this dash right here. Let me quickly go back and watch this in third person. Right? Spectate overlay. Let's take this angle. Right? This dash, look at where the Kiriko and the Mercy are. Kiriko immediately after seeing you backs up. Mercy is going to fly to her. So this puts you in a scenario where you're in the middle of a lot of the enemy players, but also because of this temporary piece of cover that you can keep, and because of the enemies that you're facing that probably don't actually want to get to you close range, because then you can just try to win against them close range, because close range is where Genji is at his strongest, right? Then as long as you properly play Ring Around the Rosie, right? So let's say the Kiriko tries to do the pick that I talked about before. She walks over to the right side and tries to pick you here. Then instead of hiding here, then you start hiding here. Then she can't see you. If the Sigma sees you, then you back up over here. right? And then you can keep bouncing between being covered from both of them. And now you have forced them back, right? So it's not like this, you can never do something like this, but it is definitely better for you to just keep that in mind instead of trying to back the way that you did, because that is the longest path to cover, right? And you're hoping that the enemies just miss their shots at that point. You don't have agency over that situation. How can you submit a replay? You can join my Discord server. There's also a Google Form submission. The link for it you can find in the description of my last video, my Overwatch 2 Genji guide. You can also type !VOD review. It should bring up a command that has the link, but Stream Elements bot doesn't seem to be working most of the time, so unfortunately that isn't really a great way to submit VODs. So I would recommend you just join my Discord server. There is a channel there just for submissions, and I'm taking the submissions here. Alright, all of these submissions are in my Discord server.
I'm on the objective. I'm on fire. Everyone follow me.
Trim Elements bot is terrible. Okay, try to punish the Anzo. The team finishes him off first, but good thing that you had the awareness to push him out there and get the stagger. You probably need to migrate Stream Elements commands over to another bot. But I remember also having issues with other bots, so I have to find a better solution. And yeah, again, this is the same problem as before, with a very aggressive dash. But in this time, you're now dashing into even more people, and you have even worse temporary cover to use. Those pillars are gonna be very rough for you to be able to use to play around everyone in the enemy team, right? And you're down your deflects. And then you also overstay your welcome when you're down deflect, right? You're overpicking your enemies. Don't think I need to keep emphasizing this point. Now I have a duel, and you just hold our Genji. Nice. Ooh, good deflect. And remember, you said that you were having issues with aiming, right? And there you almost killed the Valkyrie Mercy, right? So you have to give yourself some props for that, right? Notice that one of the main reasons why you sometimes can't aim isn't actually that your aim is bad, just that your movement is making it harder to aim. And I like this path, I really like this. Now you're looking for a better angle to approach the enemy. You probably don't need to go all the way. You can probably just go here. Take this mini, you would be full health after it, and then you have an off angle, the same off angle that you're trying to look now. It would just take less time and you also wouldn't make the dash noise. But this is good. You could have tried to just kill someone before Blade and see if you didn't need Blade, but that's a nitpick. This was a very good play. You went from an angle to make them to make it harder for the enemy to be able to focus you, right? Because you will have a surprise factor, you're coming in from an angle, you got close range before you had to use your dash from the blade, so that if their opponents use the mobility cooldown, right? Then you can just go ahead and dash to follow them. Or to get out if needed, if they force you out, right? Now this was one moment where double jumping a lot would have been good. If you're trying to go for this Ryan, and granted, Ryan is very, very tanky, you need to be aware of the pin. So either just, for example, you see the pin, you dash to avoid it, or you play above him so that he cannot pin you, right? Because otherwise you can deflect to parry the swings, you can deflect to get the fire strikes to be yours, right? You steal them from the enemy Genji. Alright, not the enemy Genji, the enemy Ryan. But yeah, it's important to notice that Ryan close range is very, very dangerous. As much as you might be able to stall against him with deflects in certain scenarios. You also have to keep in mind the pin. And since he has like over 600 HP, I don't remember the exact amount of HP.
Point is vulnerable.
Oh, you just won here, right? Since Ryan has a lot of HP, and you have very little, and he has a lot of consistent DPS output, and you don't have a great interaction with him, especially considering that he has such an insane amount of armor, and armor reduces damage by a lot. Not that good for you to try and get your cooldowns forced when he doesn't have to trade much, right? If he tries to swing you, let's say Reinhardt is full health, you're close range on him, he swings so he cannot shield, so that you shoot him a bit. So you do triple shurikens to the head, and then he swings you once. You do triple shurikens to the head, he swings you once. You have taken 170 damage, so you're now down to 30 HP. He has taken, what, 174 times 2, right? So that would be 348. So you would have done 348 damage, but then you have to remove 30% from that because of the armor damage reduction. So he wouldn't have even lost half his HP. So even on your best scenario there, or rather close to best because you didn't use your dash, right? And you didn't use a deflect to try to avoid the swings, but my point is, Ryan is the best brawler in the game. So why try to brawl him? You're not going in there to try to finish him because he's high HP, right? You don't need to get your cooldowns forced and then have to play more passive because you cannot really do something with deflect or dash, right? You can just try to ignore him or bypass his shield, but always playing away from his effective range so that he cannot swing at you, right? Yo, what up, Shiraxai, how are you doing? But yeah, aiming guide, one of the main things that I would recommend you. And I like that the moment that you try to path around and look for flanks and look for the most effective situations, right? Because as you could, if you analyze this, or the point I'm trying to make is, whenever you are fighting a squishy, your chances of killing them is way higher than whenever you're trying to shoot a tank, right? That's one of the main takeaways that you can take from this match, is that tanks are tanky, right? Genji likes dash resets. Genji likes fighting characters with lower HP pulse. He isn't like a Sojourn where, yes, she might still enjoy fighting squishies, but Sojourn loves at least farming tanks with her primary fire to charge up her secondary fire and be able to one-shot squishies, right? And she has so much damage that she might as well be able to kill tanks consistently if they aim well, right? So Genji isn't like that. So whenever possible, it's best for you to ignore the tanks, try to path around them, but not completely ignore them, right? If you completely ignore them, then for example, what happened at the very start, you walked at the Sigma's face, if he rocks you, if your Zarya doesn't bubble you, you die, right? You have to be careful of these key cooldowns that tanks have, because tanks pack a lot of damage. But as long as you avoid those, as long as you avoid the strengths of the tanks and try to go for the squishes, then you're gonna be in a way better scenario. You're gonna be setting yourself up for success way more. Thank you. Any tips for a no nano blade? You mean a dry blade? Whenever you are like doing a blade and you're not getting support in any other way, or rather any enabling through damage boost, right? So maybe you're dry blading but you're getting a bubble. I would still call that a dry blade. But if you're blading with damage boost, I wouldn't call that a dry blade, right? If you want blade tips, I have a blade guide that I spent a lot of time working on. Even though it is a blade guide, keep with Overwatch 1 in mind, right? That was the time that I made it. I still think a lot of it is still very, very relevant for Overwatch 2. So I would definitely recommend that video. Also, quick little tips if you want. If you should keep in mind like what the enemy can do to outplay you. So for example, you're trying to blade a sniper, they can one-shot you. How well can you play around that one-shot? Okay, during my blade pull, right, I'm going to be trying to... Also, sorry I didn't thank you for the sub, Apex Acer. Or at least I don't think I did. If you're trying to blade a sniper, right, during the blade pull where you cannot deflect, you want to be out of their LOS, for example. When you're gonna be dashing to get close to them, or ideally you don't do that if they have a mobility cooldown still, right? You wanna save that dash to match their mobility cooldown. But if you're trying to dash onto a sniper, that gives them a very easy headshot because your face is going to be the first thing in your hitbox going forward, right? So, and that is an example that I show also in the Blade guide. So in that kind of scenario, instead of dashing toward them, it's usually best for you to dash a little bit towards the side to make it so they cannot just headshot by looking at you straight. They have to flick to hit you during your dash, right? You also don't need to feel like you need to hit your dash if the dash doesn't contribute to a breakpoint, right? Which is gonna be the example of Dry Blade. A Nano Blade, for example, or a Damage Boost Blade, if you do hit the dash and the swing, you kill them. So that is a moment where you might feel like you want to hit your dash. But that doesn't mean that you can't just double swing them a lot of the time and just dash to avoid the damage, right? Even with Nano, you still can just get absolutely destroyed. Let's say you're discorded and get hit by a Widow headshot. That's basically 400 damage, right? So lots of things to keep in mind, but usually the most important one is to keep in mind what the enemy can do to you and how do you play around that to get your value, right? Alright, moving on to the next VOD. Also, if you have any questions about this VOD, feel free to ask me. And I would love to have like a big takeaway. I still feel like the aim stuff that I talked about, and to a certain extent the pathing and target priority stuff, are very big topics that you can work on, TJ. Even if it's a quick play match, but ideally a comp match would be better because like this match was all over the place, right? So one DPS didn't play for a part of a round because they left and had to be backfilled by someone else, etc, etc. It just was kind of a messy match. I don't know if all matches that people send from quick play are going to end up having a good takeaway like this one is, right? That's why I prefer competitive VODs compared to quick play VODs, right? How often do I stream? With Overwatch 2 release, I want to stream a lot. I still don't have a proper schedule, and I also need to figure out exactly how much I want to stream, because if I try to stream daily, for example, and I'm doing quite a few hours, and then I also have to do other stuff, right? So, for example, I go to the gym, and I also really like to go biking. That is also another portion of my time each day, right? And then if you start to consider all of those things, where is my time to make videos, right? I also really enjoy making videos, and videos differently from streams, they constantly give me they're constantly giving me views, they're constantly bringing new people, while streams only do that while I'm live, right? Because I leave them unlisted because of the YouTube algorithm. So that is something that I still have to figure out. But with Overwatch 2 release, I really want to stream not only VOD reviews, I usually do them on stream. I also really want to stream my competitive games because I feel like those are always fun. So yeah, I want to stream as much as possible, basically. And so far this has been like, I've streamed every day in Overwatch 2, except for one day, which was yesterday, I think. Let's see, what is the next VOD that we have? We have... there are two Gibraltar ones. Don't quite remember which one I am analyzing, so let's see. Okay, this is the one. Good. Overwatch 2 Genji skin is very clean. One thing that I'm gonna say, I really hope that they do end up at some point making this Genji model, right? But with the recolors for Overwatch League skins.
Battle's end,
I would absolutely love playing
not games.
Toronto Defiant Genji skin with this shuriken model, with the hoodie and everything. 500 to 933 during the stream, damn. That's great. That's really great progress.
Fine, I'll go.
This is open queue, okay. So this is still, I was gonna say, is this arcade because of the no limits? But this is open queue, right? So this is gonna be weird. That's the kind of stuff that I don't like so much about not being a competitive match, especially not being a roll kill match. Like, what is enemy comp? 3 tanks, 2 DPS, they have no supports, right? This is just weird. Oh yeah, I forgot about the rank. The rank is unplaced, so let me remove this and let me do this. And put this is unplaced. Also, let me mark this VOD review that I just did as done. There we go. Right. No. Please don't remove all of my video settings. Quick comments. Start of the round. This is just really solid position. One, from the bridge, if you want, you can poke the enemy out. I usually poke the enemy out instead of just hiding here, because at a high level, people just expect players to be hiding here. So if someone tries to jump and tries to walk here and thinks that there is no one, there's usually gonna be a lot of players hidden here trying to just capitalize on whoever tries to walk here. So I usually don't immediately hide there. I usually just try to poke them out a little bit, see what the enemy comp is, try not to get one shot, right? So I'm always ready to deflect if I see a Widow or an Ana trying to leap me. Even a Hog trying to jump here and try to get a hook, right? Alright, thanks for stopping by, Jasper. So this is just generally a very good position. And even if you aren't you're hiding here and no one jumps here to the high ground for you to just fight or try to punish if they walk through, right? Even if you can just stick to this position. Why? When the opponents push the payload over here, and let's say the tanks try to take space on the high ground, what are you left with? Who is pushing the payload? Right? Usually a DPS or support. It's squishy. You wanna fight squishies. Having the advantage on them with a surprise factor is great. And also getting to be close range on someone with both your dash and your deflect available is also great, right? So it's gonna be a great staging position where if everyone is trying to pull jump here, let's say a Genji and the Winston and the Mercy follows them here, right? And then the Tracer is trying to go here and get to this high ground, use this natural structure to climb and contest this area, right? Then that's 4 people jumping, and then there's an Ana trying to support them at range here, right? Let's say that this is what is happening. What happens in that situation? The Ana is probably gonna be hard scoped, shooting at whoever is here, either the enemies or the teammates. Which means if you walk now silently, you can just drop, easily one-shot the Ana. Boom! Now have a big advantage. They don't have the support they're expecting up here from the Ana healing them at range. You can now pincer them because you're now behind enemy lines, etc. So this is a really powerful position. Also, a quick thing to mention, not related to the VOD review, but I just noticed because of the frame loss that I was getting. I dropped a few frames, not too many so far in the stream, but I increased my bitrate from 6000 to 8000. Try to see if that helps with the quality on YouTube. So if it is looking better, right? Let me know. If it isn't, I can just lower it back to 6,000 because that means that there's gonna be less frame loss. But if it is like a noticeable difference between 6,000 bitrate to 8,000 bitrate, which is what I'm doing in this stream, right? The rest of the streams were done in 6K bitrate. Then I'm gonna keep 8K bitrate, right? Alright. Unfortunately, he was just a little faster than we were expecting of the aim. You're gonna be getting him, but he is going to be getting 2 picks here. And now you're just still overpicking the enemy team when you are down your deflect, right? Let's go back a little bit. So you see 2 tanks that you wanna fight, you see the hog, and instead of immediately backing up to cover when you're down deflect, you just keep picking him. And that's what kills you here, right? That's what kills you. So there is no reason there for you to just go ahead and pick the hog. You don't have a good interaction with the hog, right? Especially now in Overwatch 2 where it has more health, more healing. And he still has this one shot and you were down your deflect, right? There isn't really a reason. Also, if you wanna take this high ground, remember, you're Genji. You don't have to be taking high ground like other characters. You wanna take this high ground, you, for example, walk here, walk, climb, double jump, you're at the high ground. Or you walk here, walk, climb, double jump, you're high ground, right? You don't need to be taking these stairs. The stairs are kind of slow. If you want to optimize the time that it takes, you can jump and double jump and then end up landing, let's say, around this height, and then you walk, climb real quick and go here. You basically lost no time walking forward and you now are in a much better position on the high ground. But I do like that you are taking high ground, right? You try to help your Widow. We're too slow. Nice, punish the Genji. So here, after you kill the Genji, right? You look to engage the Genji. You end up getting the pick on him after your dash resets, right? You hear people shooting at you, so people are probably gonna be trying to come here and fight you. Your team just lost a bunch, right? So let's go here. Reaper is close, trying to touch points. Baby Diva is gonna die soon to this Diva. There are 2 people in spawn, Mercy and Widow, right? So you're the one that is furthest forward, right? You just killed the Genji, but the rest of the team is alive. They're pushing payload and they're gonna cap soon, right? How do you win this? You probably need to clutch this play. So you probably need to kill more people than just the Genji. Either stall, kill the other squishy in the form of Cassidy, and then since they have just tanks and no form of healing, right? Only Hog has a form of healing in the self-heal. Then you can probably just keep stalling them out and win over time because you have supports, or at least a support in the form of Mercy, and you have better respawns, right? So then you're probably just trying to make a clutch play or at least stall the points here. But most importantly, since you heard the caster shooting at you while you were trying to go for the high ground, you need to be expecting someone to try to check you as you come back here to the fight to try to stall or whatever. So either try to go to this high ground and have a better position when someone tries to go for you, or properly look at the door frame, expecting someone to go do something. Also, after the Cassidy sticks you, let's say that you reacted slowly to the stick. After the Cassidy sticks you, or rather magnetic grenade stick deals 131 damage. A Cassidy shot deals 70, 140 for a headshot, right? Which means a single body shot plus a magnetic grenade stick kills you. Which means if you were slow and didn't deflect the magnetic grenade, but you did not take a single body shot and you are full health, if you immediately deflect to try to prevent him from hitting a body shot, you won't die. But because you deflected after he hit a body shot and the magnetic grenade, you were already dead the moment that you deflected, right? Now, your team is getting the contest, which is good. Good, you see the hog and you try to deflect the hook. Now you can just damage him a bit. Granted, you are playing smart, not walking too close to him. You ended up picking him way too early, but I like that you, even though he doesn't have his hook, you're not just walking close range to him. Because close range hog can just one-shot you. Granted, you have a diva there, but you are, before you try to walk through the dart frame, you were doing really good. You were spamming him well while he was picking you without trying to walk into his effective range. Until he got low so that you could punish, right? Or if your diva went in. If you didn't walk so close, you wouldn't have taken so much damage and almost died to him. And then you would have been able to just wait your deflect, right? And entered with your deflect when he was whole hogging and then kill him, right? Now you deflect preemptively because of the high noon, you don't know where it is. After that, if you deflected preemptively because of the noon, you don't know where he is, and you don't fight him while you are deflecting to know what position you can play to cover. What you should be doing is hiding and waiting for the noon timer. Noon is a 6-second ultimate, right after he casts it, where he can shoot or drop the noon, right? Which means you deflect for 2 seconds, you don't know where he is. You should not still be peeking in the open or be far from cover, because what if he suddenly peeks and you see him? Now you're dead, right? Or you have to use your dash to get out. Instead, here the noon, deflect. You have this box. You have this here to your left too, to stay covered. Why are you suddenly, while he is still holding, look at where you are. What is your closest piece of cover? The payload. You have to wait, drop from your double jump. You are far, or relatively far from these boxes and this, and let's say here or here, right? Like at first you respected the noon, but after that you stopped respecting it, even though it is still inside the time that it can be active, right? Now you look for the mini, and fortunately the hog came back from respawning and now punishing you, which is something that is hard to keep in mind. Remembering what enemies died when and when they're gonna be coming back to the fight is something that requires a lot of game sense, and even I do struggle with as a Grandmaster player, right? Grandmaster / top 500. So that is not something that you should be, oh, I died to this hog, feels bad. I mean, it is like a feels bad, but it isn't like it is really that big of your fault, right? It is something that is tough for you to actually remember, to be able to just go ahead. Okay, no, the hog could position there, so I'm not gonna pick that a place where the hog could be at right now, right? Prevent him from killing you there. Now this Genji is feeding, you look to punish him. He's down both of his cooldowns, so you can just hard engage him. And good, you finish him. One thing that you can also do there, after you see he deflected, so he waited to deflect, walked over here, dashed to this door frame. You can just dash to follow him. He is low, you're full HP, you have your team. You can just look to punish him because you're gonna have your deflect after, in case he tries to clap you or something. Yo, what up, Frederick? Guess what? Did you rank up? That chatter though. Now you're grabbing high ground, good. Good, I like that you're grabbing this high ground. This means you're way more safe. Now you find the hog and good. Properly use cover to dodge the hook, the threat of, or rather the threat of the hook. The baby, or not the baby diva. Diva gets a bunch of kills. You're now running for your life. Right, there's a mega there. Good. Genji is chasing you. One thing to keep in mind. deflect for Genji can parry a lot of things. That's actually something that I should do a video on. Let me actually make a quick note. Notes, everything Genji can deflect in Overwatch 2. Alright, quick notes that I made for myself. So let's go here, back to the review. One thing that is important for you to keep in mind, I talked this about in the previous match, where if Ryan is swinging and you're deflecting, you're not gonna deflect the damage back at him, but you aren't going to take the damage yourself, right? You're parrying it, basically. It's a parry mechanic for that. Genji swing, melee, what else? Another melee that isn't really a melee, but is gonna be Winston when he's ulted, right? In Primal, where he's trying to boop you away. He's still gonna get the boop, but he's not gonna get the damage, right? So those are important things to keep in mind. If the Genji here is chasing you with Dragon Blade, when he gets close to you, you can just deflect to parry 2 swings, right? And burn a good time off his clock. And now you get a good punish on him. Very good. Am I doing a guess in a ESR? No, I'm just doing VOD reviews, Frederick. So people are submitting me codes for me to review, and I'm helping them get better at the game by reviewing their matches. Here you didn't properly pay attention to the sound cue of the hog to react to it. Happens. That is gonna be an important skill check for you as you try to rank up, right? Being aware of big threats like hog one-shots. So you hear that the hog is close. Where is the hog? Okay, I found the hog. Do I need to deflect preemptively, or can I react to that? Okay, do I have cover to play around so that I don't need to burn my cooldowns, right? That is gonna be an important thing for you to learn how to play this matchup, right? Respecting the threat of the hook. Outside of the threat of the hook, or rather Hog has very good close range, just like Genji, but since he has 700 HP and Genji has 200, you don't really want to be fighting him close range and giving him the chance to one-shot. Ideally you want to be playing close but not too close, and also Hog is not your ideal target. He's just a tank, like I said before. You would much rather fight squishies. So as long as Hog doesn't have hook, you are free to kind of ignore him as long as you don't walk close to him on accident while you're trying to go for the backline or something, for example. And back from spawn. I don't like that you're tunnel visioning on the Hog. Remember, he's a tank. What did you do a lot before in this match? You took 1v1s with the Genji and you won them. So you see the Genji shooting to your right when you try to go for the Hog, right? Right here. The Genji is shooting you, the Genji is shooting you. Look at him and try to fight him instead of the Hog, right? Good, look for the Mega, get this. Now you're in a strong position to try to drop on someone after you get cooldowns. Oof. You use your deflect but you drop it way too early there. And you also forgot about the threat of the Bastion. Nice. You are patient with the deflect to wait for him to charge it, and then you deflect. And then if he doesn't shoot himself, you can walk away. So you did that play very well. See the Genji, respect him with the deflects. I really like that. He just killed your Moria, you're half HP. If he wants, he can try to dash and get you and kill you, right? So I really like that you're deflecting preemptively, because if he tries to animation cancel a shot, dash and finish you, if he hits that shot, his sorry. If he animation cancels a shot, he can very easily kill you there, right? So I really like that you're preemptively deflecting that. So do not give him a chance to combo you. Easily, at least. If he wants to combo you, he would have to dash and then hit a perfect 180 to hit you behind you while you're deflecting, so you cannot actually deflect his shots, right? Which is a very, very high skill play. Now you probably shouldn't be picking that too much, now that you're half HP though. Probably should look for health before picking too much. Or you should be picking and deflecting, right? For example, because the threat of the Cassidy at long range is bigger than your threat. Good kill on the Bastion. Good punish on the Genji, you had a good angle on him. When you play with it, I don't know, do you have actually the exact same settings? Because that's weird. I don't know why that would happen if you have the exact same settings. That is good. The Hog is running away after using his heal, so he's low. You could probably have finished him there. Good, you ran away at the right time. Getting good damage on the Bastion. Also, if you wanna get healed here, where is your Moria? Your Moria is spawning, right? Here's a Mega. There is also a Mega here, but this isn't the best one, considering that the enemy positioning. So this is probably the best one for you to try to go for. Okay, there you go, you're going for the Mega. Why does it pause to talk about this? Nice, help punish the Diva. Probably should have tried to preemptively deflect that. The reason why preemptively deflecting that, even though there is a Hog here in threat of the hook, is something that you can, if you have the reaction time, consistently reactively deflect that, is because there's a Bastion, there was a Cassidy, there was a Hog, all of them could just shoot you and instantly kill you if they all landed good shots, right? Considering that there are all of those threats that can just look at you and damage you, and also the threat of the one shot from the Hog, just deflecting them and aiming at someone, even if not for you to just go ahead and trade deflect for hook, which is a good cooldown trade, it is a good way to let yourself get kills. So if you deflect a Cassidy shot, plus a little bit of the Bastion spam, plus a little bit of the Hog spam at someone, let's say the Bastion, then he might just drop half HP from that, and then you can maybe engage him with dash if your team helps you with the damage, right? Deflect can be a combo enabler, so you don't have to always be saving it for cooldowns like Hog Hook. Right? So you dash up, you found the Genji. The timing of the blade is questionable. So, Diva is demagged, your Diva bombed, your Bastion died, so they have Baby Diva. Baby Diva isn't dead, but Baby Diva is 10 times less effective. I'm just saying a random number, right? But Baby Diva is very weak compared to Bastion, or compared to any other character. So a lot of the times, yo, Vinicius, thanks for the sub. A lot of the times, it's words. A lot of times I consider a team that has lost Diva to have lost a player, right? Especially when I'm trying to communicate how many teammates are alive for each team. So let's say that we lost one, but then the enemy team lost mech. Instead of saying, oh, we are 4 versus 4.5, I'm not gonna call that to my team. I'm gonna say we're 4v4, right? It's simpler as of a call out. It helps my team understand a little bit better that the fight is basically even. instead of me calling 4.4 versus 5.5. So in this case, sure they have maybe D.Va alive, but they essentially have 2 dead, right? D.Va and Bastion. So you are 3 versus, or rather, you are 5 versus 3, right? Your Moira and your D.Va ulted. There isn't really a reason for you to ult. You basically already won this match. The enemy isn't getting card progress, right? So that is the main reason why this blade ends up failing. Because then you dash up and you don't see anyone, and then you try to go for the Genji, but the Genji has deflect, right? Cassidy flanks, you get the kill on him, good.
You cannot escape me.
Oh, very good. Very good finish. And very good usage of deflect there. And also pretty good spam. Soldier was still low, maybe you could have dashed tried to go for him, but it's also relatively dangerous. Considering that maybe he gets healed and you don't get to finish or have HP, and then you don't realistically have a way out, so it's fine for you to go ahead and feel like, no, you don't want to engage that. Your entire team is dead, you can just try to back up, or try to die points. You're gonna be trying to back up, yeah. You ended up screwing up you're running away a little bit, so that means that you're now staggered. So probably the best way for you to do that is either to instantly try to run away after you notice that your team just all died, or you just try to die point, because that means that enemy doesn't get card progress while you die. Which means that even though you are going to be getting staggered and spawning in a different time from your team, since the card didn't get any progress, it isn't meaningful that you are getting the spawn late. Yo, what up, Levius? How are you doing? Random DPS or support? I would guess that they're a new player. They sent this VOD and they are unplaced. It is also quick play, so I don't think that they even have competitive unlocked. That is my guess. I don't know for sure, but yeah. And also this is open queue. So before the enemy team had 3 tanks and 2 DPS, right? So they didn't even have a support to go for. Oh, good. You notice that the Hog is dangerous close range and you deflect to not give him a chance to one-shot you. Ooh, that is unfortunate. He got the Mega. Of spam, get out. Good. I have a feeling that you don't yet know the maps, but that is just completely understandable. It's a lot of maps. Overwatch 1 is a game, an FPS game, that has a lot of maps compared to other ones, right? Isn't like CS, Valorant, games that have few maps. Apex 2 has like few maps in the game. Sure, Apex maps, for example, are huge, but Overwatch is really hard for you to learn all the maps. It takes a long time. They all are very intricately designed, and there are so many of them. Oof, unfortunate. Here you didn't notice that Junkrat deals lethal damage to you with 2 shots, and after taking 1 you should be preemptively deflecting or dashing out, right?
Mistakes will always precede victory.
Surrender to my will. Overtime.
Ooh, very nice. Even though it was a little bit clumsy, right? Mechanically trying to climb up to the high grounds. One thing that I really like, you went over to try to taking an angle for the blade to have a surprise on the enemy team. And you managed to get big value from that play because of that. So, although it is a clumsy gameplay at times, right? And you're probably very new to Overwatch, I really like how you have these like sparks of like a more advanced player, let's say, sparks of advanced play. I'm gonna say, I don't know if I'm making my point clear, but basically what I'm trying to say is you show that you understand, or at least trying to do some very interesting things. You might not still be mechanically great at them. You might still need to play more Overwatch 2 to get more used to it, but you do understand some of these things. So for example, you try to path around the enemy team to get access to the backline, have a surprise factor with your blade, right? You're trying to a lot of times take tools with squishes instead of tanks. Granted, it was not all the time, right? There were times where you were focusing tanks too much and you don't have the awareness to hear that there is a hog on your side coming up the stairs, right, and hooking you. Or you ignore the Genji to try to go for the hog, right? But I like that you show these things, and you show these sparks of genius, let's say. And so I feel like obviously one of the best things for you is just going to be playing more to get more used to Overwatch 2, but one big thing I would say, work more on these two things, right? Target priority and pathing. I have a video on pathing if you wanna check out. It is 30 minutes long. I feel like it is one of the most underrated skills in Overwatch. It's really powerful, and I would highly recommend you watch that, my video on pathing. And what was the other thing that I said? Target priority. That is a topic that I cover in quite a few of my videos. The most recent one being the Overwatch 2 guide, which was probably the thing that got you into this channel, right? So those would be the two big topics that I would recommend you to work on improving. And yeah, play the game more, get more used to it. You're gonna have a more intuitive sense of, oh hey, I'm fighting a Junkrat. Junkrat can tap me if he hits 2 mines, or a mine and a concussion, which is his cooldown, right? The mine that he can throw and explode at will, etc., right? So yeah, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. But without further ado, let's move on to the next VOD. Let me mark this one as done. Can you share gameplay? If you mean a VOD, you would probably have to join my Discord server. You can also submit VODs through the Google Forms, although I don't like it as much. The option is there, right? And if you wanna submit through there, type !VOD review. If it doesn't come up, the link is in the top of my Overwatch 2 guide description, Overwatch 2 Genji guide. But yeah, you can always just find the Discord link in the description of any video, and you can join and submit VODs there. And if you want to share like clips and stuff, you can also do that on Discord. There's a channel called Clip Sharing where you can share those. Neutral Retro, yeah, what up, Mini Groove? And welcome back, Frederick. Quick tips for a new Genji. Mini Groove, did you watch my Genji guide, Overwatch 2 Genji guide? Or any other content that I made, or is this like the first thing that you are watching from me? Like you recommended this live stream, but you haven't watched any other content from me? That's an important question for me to ask before I recommend you stuff. So now the next match is Silver. Let's turn this on. No division, because this was an Overwatch 1 rank, and this is on PC. So let me just write PC. PC, I mean, that's kind of ugly computer. Yeah, that properly fits the space that we have, so let me do that. Do I want to 1v1 you? I'm afraid I don't want to do that right now. I'm doing VOD reviews. I want this. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm going to be setting up custom games at times, but yeah. You can also try to add me if you type !battle tag, I think, if the command shows up. I can also just show my battle tag, I think, here. Yeah. There's my battle tag up there. Poke #122 1, 2, 2, 2, 4. It's 3 chews. So yeah, is this correct? This is a PC VOD review. Sparrow, I think, is the person that we're reviewing. Let me quickly check. Did not get an answer, but that is who I would guess is being reviewed, because that's the only Genji in this match. I'll mark this here. Alright. Do this.
5, 4.
And let me pause. Quickly get the chat. Automatically record, or it's a setting. Whenever you play a match, let me quickly leave this. Whenever you play a match, you can go over to history and you can go over to replays. And here you're gonna find replays, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Showing 9 right now because of one that I pinned for an example I did before in the stream, right? But it's usually gonna be 10 here. If you pin, you can have 10 plus the pinned replays, which is really cool. And you can also pin them so that if you play 11 matches, your first match doesn't get erased to make space for a new one, right? But if you are talking about recording it to save locally, there is no way for you to download that file. You will have to open up something, for example, as OBS and record it in another way like that. I think a capture card will also work for a console player that wants to record their VODs and save them forever instead of having the VODs reset every patch as they do in Overwatch 2, right? And if you want to share replays, you can also just choose a replay, press the share button, it's gonna create you a code, and then this is the code that you send, right? So you get a VOD review from someone else, or just share the replay to share something cool, right? Oh hey, I did a really cool play, I want to show it to my friends, here's the code, and then you give them the time, right? And then they watch you. Also, what up, Ager? Shui? I don't know how to pronounce that. Ager, do you mind if I call you Ager? What up, Akuna? There we go. So yeah, then Minigroove, I would highly recommend you watch my Overwatch 2 Genji guide. It is like the most recent video on the channel, and it goes over just basically everything Genji. It doesn't go too in-depth and stuff, but it's still a 25-minute long video. If you want more info on specific topics, so let's say, oh, you watched that video and you're interested in pathing, then you can watch the specific video that I made on pathing, for example. That is 30 minutes long, right? That is something that you can do. But yeah, I would highly recommend for you to start from that video, because it is the most up-to-date one that I have, and the best one in general, right, to cover all of the bases that you want to play Genji. What's your complete guide? Feel like I'm missing something. Makuna, I would highly recommend you to first play, right? But also play to get more used, but also to, if you want, just share a VOD review, a VOD for me to review on stream, like I'm doing right now. I just reviewed these 2 quick play matches. I'm gonna get into this competitive match in a bit. If you wanna know how to share, you go into history, replays. This is under your career profile, by the way. And you press share, it's gonna create you a code, and then you can send this code as well as some other information in my Discord server, right, in the VOD reviews channel. And then I'm gonna be reviewing these in a specific day that we plan out, right, for me to review the match. Thank you, Parkwell. Also, how are you doing? Don't think I said hi to you. But yeah, the great thing about the VOD reviews is that, sure, you watch that video but you feel like you're missing something, so that means that I can help you understand what is missing by watching your gameplay and pointing out, okay, you should focus on pathing, you should focus on target priority, right? I did give some pointers for the player that submitted these 2 quick play VODs, and I'm gonna be doing so with this quick competitive VOD in a bit, right? Let me just quickly update myself on chat.
Arriving at watch ready to battle. Ready for battle.
Yes, I could do a guest rank stream at some point. I could also possibly do that with clips that you send, right? And not VODs. I feel like that would be better. Would make for a better dynamic instead of having to. That would give me less information, so that would mean that it would be more interesting of a challenge, right? But I feel like I would want to wait a little bit to do that, so that new players have time to unlock competitive and play competitive, and for old players to get back to the ranks that they deserve, if they deserve to climb higher, or if their ranks are indeed different from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, right? Yes, they do VOD review quick play VODs. I don't like to do it as much as competitive, but I can VOD review quick play VODs. I feel like maybe depending on how many VODs I get for quick play, especially from new players, I might go ahead and say no. I'm going to wait a little bit for you to get more used to the game and then VOD review you. But so far, just submit VODs and I'm gonna see how much demand there is for VOD reviews. And then from there, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna put that restriction or not, right? Because competitive VODs are better because the format is better. So for example, if this was quick play, I would only watch this player defend. I wouldn't watch them attack, right? But in competitive, I watched this player defend and then attack. It is also a better mode because people are trying harder than they're trying in quick play. And levers, it's way less likely for you to have a lever in here, so it's just better overall for competitive VODs. Ninja Blade code. Which code? Frederick.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Enemy contact. Stop the payload.
Yo, what up, Apple Louie? Live gameplay reviews? Yes, well, I'm not ghost coaching. I don't know what the ghost is supposed to mean in the sentence, but yeah, I'm VOD reviewing people on stream right now, right? That is something that I do, and I offer this service. I mean, it is a service, yeah, right? Yo, thanks for the sub, Silver Streak. Oh, the MGRE. You mean that you made the code, Frederick, or do you want me to go ahead and watch a clip that you did from that? So for example, you killed 9 bots with 1 blade, just like I showed in my Genji drills video. That would be the highest challenge, right? Is that what you're trying to ask me to rate? But yeah, I am to answer your question, Appa. I am just doing a VOD review on stream, right? Maybe you did create it, maybe you didn't. Well, if you did create it, it is a really cool code. I'm gonna give you that. Okay, let me quickly go back because I did not pay too much attention. Sorry. Time in the Hanzo. To the Diva. Saving your cooldowns because, I mean, sure, you are a little bit in danger from the Hanzo just one-shotting you, but and not something that you can always play around. You're trying to spam duel him, which is a little bit dangerous if you don't try to deflect between your shots to give him less shots to play around with. I do like that now you're turning to the squishes on points, dropping on them with your cooldowns and the health, and then you get the kill on the Mercy, right? You're now chasing the Moria, which is good. Also, unrelated, but I hate how my nose is just itchy. I don't know, does anyone have any information on this? Like, it feels like lately one of the things that is making my nose so itchy is the fact that it seems like there is dust. I don't know, it doesn't seem like I can get this dust, so-called dust off, but it just makes my nose annoyed. Just makes it itchy. And I cannot go ahead and stop it. Shui, I'm going to be reviewing it not today because while I started the stream, right, I had 3 VODs to review. I already got 3 submissions in my Discord, so I'm not gonna be reviewing everyone today, unfortunately. I don't have infinite time and I also want to grind a little bit of ranked later. But feel free to join the queue with everyone else in the Discord server, and there you can submit it with other information, such as, for example, what player are you in the lobby, right? I need to know what player you are in the lobby to review you. What rank is useful to know, like what kind of skills can I expect you to have or not, right? Or how harsh I should be in the review. Like, what kinds of mistakes? Am I looking only for bigger mistakes or am I nitpicking the person, right? So, if you want a VOD review, just enter my Discord and submit it through there. Because otherwise I'm just not gonna just take someone's message like this in chat and skip the queue, right? Everyone is getting the VOD reviews for free, but they're joining a queue for them, right? How many more will I review? I think I'll only review this one more. I don't know if I'm gonna be reviewing the others. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I have to see after the stream, or not after the stream, after this review I have to see if there are any news. Or if you guys know this, like Blizzard did shut down the servers yesterday and before that, right, for a few hours to help keep the servers, right, update the servers so that they would be able to deal with all of the new players and also the whole issues that we're having with cross progression, item syncing, etc., right? So they did those updates, and those updates delete VODs. So if Blizzard does indeed want to do another patch soon, I'm gonna be trying to rush these VODs before they're deleted. But if there isn't a patch, then I'm going to, instead of just doing 6 hours of VOD reviews straight, right, and absolutely destroying my voice, and then not having voice for other days, right, I'm going to be doing a few VODs here, a few VODs on another day, etc., right? And also, as much as I want to review everyone, like, I don't have infinite time. There is going to be a point where I'm going to have more demand that I will have time to be able to attend to. But that is also another thing that I'm gonna have to consider. Custom map you were on with the Annas in the complete guide. Makuna, you can find that in the comments. So I have a pinned comments, right, saying Overwatch 2 is out. And on the replies, someone asked me what codes I used for the workshops. There are the 2 codes. One of them is the MGRE. It's not the Anna one that you are asking. The other one I don't remember on the top of my head. But you can find that code in that comment, right? You just go to my pinned comment, go to the replies, and there I reply with someone that asked me this exact same question with the replay code. Also, what up, Finn? How are you doing? Let me continue the review, right? Oof, yeah, this is... You almost killed her, yes, but you're only getting out here if you get the kill. And how much does this kill matter for you compared to how much this matters for the enemy team? If you die, you give up a lot of map space. If that Mora dies, her spawn is there, right? You're not going to be stopping the payload just because you killed one. Your team is just dead and respawning. So killing that one person doesn't really matter much. In fact, it might not even matter anything outside of just ult charge for you. Which means engaging this Mora here just does a whole lot of bad and basically nothing good, right? Basically nothing good. So this is why I don't think that this engagement on the Moira is good, right? This is my thought process. So for example, instead of going for this Moira, I would have just, okay, Moira faded, I'm low HP, they're damaging me, let me just dash to the high rounds, try to reset with my team, and try to prevent them from getting powerful positions, such as high ground, right? If they just try to push payload and put a bunch of people payload, if you are on the high ground, you can just drop on them, and boom, you have dash available, you have deflector ready to make plays, right? If you are on this high ground, for example, and they push the payload below, right? You can just drop on them from behind and look for a dash through or whatever, an assassination, a lot of different plays, right? You just don't want to be giving up this position because not only does it allow you to stage, it also prevents the enemy from having good sightlines on your team when your team recontests, right? If you give them this position, instead of you being the defense team and having defense positioning, which is just usually better than attack positioning, if they get to keep position and you're recontesting, then that's gonna mean that for this fight you're essentially attacking them because they have better positioning and you have to retake space. They have more space than you, right? What up, Mig? How are you doing? Ming? I don't know how I would pronounce that, so sorry if I butchered the name. Yeah, I plan to make this series. There's even a post that I made, which I would like to ask everyone to, when you have time, or if you want to do it now and then come back to the stream, right? I would highly thank you. I don't know if that is a sentence, but yeah, I would be very thankful if you all could go in my community tab on YouTube and go over to my second last post, where I ask what character do you want to see me make a video on how to play against, right? Because in Overwatch 1 I made 3, I made against Anna, Bap and Ashe, right? They are basically the same heroes in Overwatch 2, so I think that they're still relevant. I'm gonna remake them in Overwatch 2, yes. I'm gonna remake them only after I make all of the other heroes in Overwatch 2, right? But I'm wondering what hero should I do next? Should I do the new heroes such as Sojourn, Kiriko, Junker Queen? Or should I do another one that people, let's say, have big issue with? So for example, people have a lot of times expressed that they have issues playing against Winston, for example. So I might want to do a video on that, right? I wanna come back to this series for sure, and I definitely really want to know what you want to see next in that series, to be able to be useful sooner, right? Instead of just going in alphabetical order or something like that, right? Yay. I would say instead of coming back to main, yeah. Okay. A lot of enemies, the more you can even bypass your deflect, so there isn't really a reason for you to deflect over here. There isn't even a reason for you to give up this position at all. This is an interesting position. If anyone wants to come here, you can fight them close range because Genji is strong close range, right? And they can't really pick you unless they enter this room because of how good the cover is, how enclosed the space is, right? Which means, unless you're pushed by a bunch of people at the same time, or a tank, you have a decent chance. And also, you are high HP. The payload doesn't need to be contested too soon, right? You can also just go ahead and get high ground and set up on your enemies, right? Just like you did before at the start of the point. You can also go here and take control over this area. This area is called blue box because there are blue boxes here, right? It used to be only one, I think. I think they reworked this a little bit. So now it is blue boxes, but the callout is probably gonna still be blue box for this area of the map. Because this is a very important area of the map, right? Important areas of the map usually have callouts, callout names. And so you could, for example, be grabbing this high ground. You dodged, where is the map? Okay. You dodged the Diva Bomb entering here, grab the mini to heal you up a little bit of your damage that you just took, and then just come here. Boom, you're set up. You wait for a dash, you can drop on someone, right? Because you don't need to be giving your positioning there.
Nanakorobi Naoki.
Good blade. Usually using the dash that early isn't good because of the mobility, right? If your opponents move away from your blade and then you don't have any way to catch up to them. But considering that they only had one place where they could run away, and that was here, you dashing there is fine because you're gonna be able to get the second swing off on them. So it ended up being a very good blade. Now you get to hold them in a good position. Not the best position, because you ideally would want the doors to close. Doors are currently open behind you, right? These doors, because the payload didn't even cross here. But these in general is a good position for you to stop them, or anywhere really. And second point, as long as you don't cap, right? If you stop them, you want to probably hold them close. Maybe your tank wants to hold here, depending on what tank it is. Probably Sigma wants to hold over here, instead of forward here. But you, as a Genji with mobility, with deflect, you can hold forward here. Why? Chokes. Small choke, small choke, small choke, and who would have guessed it? Another small choke. You are good at preventing enemies from coming over here because you have deflect, you have dash, and you have wall climb and double jump, so you can annoy them, always be in an annoying angle, so if they come out, they might not know if you're here, here, above them, what angle exactly they have to aim at. If they try to aim at you, they're ignoring your team. So Genji is a really annoying character when he can play around door frames, right? Thanks for the subs, Shui. And since you still have dash, and the enemies aren't dealing that much damage to you, right? This type of play is completely fine. Which I like. You're preventing the enemy from getting much space, you're trying to punish the diva. Good. Ooh, very good awareness on the handle there. Nice. This is a good hold so far. Change how I'm sitting for a bit. Been live for almost 2 hours. Probably should take a stretch break in a bit. Good. And this is a very good hold from their team. Very good hold from their team. They're not giving them card progress. This blade is less good. One, you almost failed to kill the soldier. Why? Because he got a little bit of heal. I don't know from where. If it was Moria or Mercy. You had the right intention, you just probably don't need to use that dash early for the combo damage. Not to risk losing the blade completely. And also blading when the enemy is at spawn loses value because, well, they die, sure, 10 seconds. But then they just quickly come out of spawn. It's definitely better for you to blade when the enemy has to walk a long time for cart, but it's not the end of the world here. Especially if you guarantee a fight and then you can farm more blade here, right? So it's not like that is necessarily a bad blade. I'm just pointing out that blade gets more value, or any ultimate really that gives your team a fight win, right? Is going to be more valuable the more time they waste off the enemy clock. And if they just came out of spawn and you're already blading them and you're not even trying to wait for the fight to develop a little bit and then blade if you need to in order to win that fight, then you're losing some potential value of the blade, right? That is the important thing to keep in mind. That is a scary engagement. You are going to be getting the soldier, and then you're gonna get the soldier, or rather the finish on the Mercy when she tries to res, and the AFK, so you also get him. But yeah, it's definitely weird for you to try to that engagement after you have been holding them for so well, right? You are an important piece for your team to be holding up close here and denying them so much. Because you're great at dueling the enemy DPS and keeping them in check from doing stuff to your team. I also don't like this engagement. If the Zarya turned at you or were dead. Good. Those were some very juicy headshots on the soldier. Very good angle, and there you go. A quick off angle gets you a free kill on the Hanzo. Nice. Kill the Mercy. Mora is low. I don't think you can get her, so you probably should run because of the Zarya that's behind you. Yep. Much as your team wants those kills. Well, the Pharah is gonna get them, but I think that it's best for you to be coming back, just like our team was doing. Wait. Because the enemy is just respawning, right? If you just try to look at them for too long, the hands on the soldier and the mercy are going to free shoot on you, and then they might get a kill and prevent you from holding close still. While this close hold is being this strong, right?
Meet your fate.
Onwards to victory.
Yeah, this is also a little bit of a sketchy blade. Especially because you're engaging 1v6. Alright, not 1v6, 1v5. Too used to Overwatch 1. But it is going to get value, but you need to realize how dangerous that was. You didn't have support from your team there, because your team didn't push up. You did try to play that blade as well as you could with that position that you were put yourself in, right? So blading 1v5, not really trying to get the cooldowns out of the enemy team before engaging. But it did work out, right? Although, if the enemy team played a little bit better, you probably would have just turbo fed and gave them a chance to just win that from there. Alright. Oof, AFK. Right, unfortunately, since you're AFK, you cannot get to the high ground and contest them properly. Ideally, you come out of spawn here, right? First, you can just stand here, for those that didn't know, and you can see through this window. The enemy cannot see who you are here, right? Because of this. This is a one-way window, but you can see the enemies here. So you would see, there's an Ashe high ground, the enemy team is defending low ground, which means I need to be careful about TNT on this area. After I hear TNT, I can just come out and try to contest dash immediately, right? You can try to dash combo someone that is here, or you can just go here, jump, double jump, wall tap, so a quick wall climb, just to get enough vertical heights and vertical time to be able to get to this bridge. Boom, you're on the bridge, you're ready to either path here if they let you, to drop on someone high grounds, behind them with cooldowns, etc. Or you can go ahead and contest someone that is here, let's say the Ashe, or someone that is trying to hide in this room, right? And if you need, you can just fall, stall with, or rather heal with the mini, climb up top, and then recontest this area, right? This is just a really good place for you to be playing in the start of the round, because this small little area allows your team to basically push payload all the way here and until under, basically, because it allows you to contest people in this area if you want with a dash and then drop back with deflect, if you want to get punished from doing such a play, or by going inside and rotating here and preventing the enemies from trying to hold this bridge, etc. Right? It's just very, very powerful positioning for Genji. You're probably gonna be trying to get right now. Yep. Nice, you got to go on the Ashe. Now you're dropping the Mercy. Should not have used the dash. Now you lost the flexibility of being able to dash out. And you also didn't shoot before it, right? So let's go back. Also, one quick note about here. Instead of wall climbing here, and then if the Ashe picks, right, let's say, the Ashe walks forward and picks and tries to look over the ledge, right? She looks below her, she sees you wall climb, easy headshots, because your head is going to be the first thing that you're gonna see. Wall climb where she cannot see. So wall climb here, and then double jump to get here. Then you are exposing yourself for less time, right? Okay, you do get the kill. And here, you ended up accidentally not doing the animation cancel for the shots for the Mercy if you wanted to use the dash, but you probably shouldn't have used your dash already. Oh, okay. I can actually just do that right now. Where are you? Reminder. There you go, I sent you a message. Let me do this. Here, here, here. Right, coming back. You probably don't want to use your dash. Why? Because if the Mercy flies, you want to be able to follow her with the dash. If the enemy Mei turns at you and tries to make you use low, you can dash and get out of her effective range, right? There's many reasons for you not to dash. Yeah, also, if you feel like, okay, I want the burst damage with the dash, you can one-shot someone with triple headshot melee. So there is no reason for you to dash here and just screw up with most of your potential, and also put yourself in extra danger here for a small bit of extra burst compared to a melee, for example. Oh yeah, my water ran out, unfortunately. I like that you're actually... I mean, I would possibly have gone for the Moira instead of trying to go for the Mei to help my Torb. Why? Because picks matter way more for my team than the enemy. Look at the spawn. The spawn is way closer for our team than it is for the enemy team. Look at how far away the enemy spawn is. Right? Very far. So I would trade my Torb's life for the Moira's life. She just faded. You were in a position to try to take the duel of her, so I would have chased her instead of trying to go for the Mei. You also don't guarantee that even if you go for the Mei, you will actually get to pressure her out and make her live, or rather your Torb live, right? So I feel like it's a little bit of a sketchy play. It's not a bad intention though. It is a good thing that you are looking out for your teammates whenever you can help them, right? See the baby diva is low, try to finish. You do a soft engagement though, so that means that you can just walk back immediately, which is good. Get the finish on the Mei, good. And the enemy is playing in a very bad position. I'm gonna get the kill. And I wouldn't doubt seeing you just pull out play here, right? Thanks for the sub, Vicente. Good. Also, one quick thing that I wanna check out. She got rezzed. Yeah, you see how when Baby Diva gets rezzed, she immediately gets mech? So, 33, 44, 86% ult charge, right? Because it swapped from the ult charge that she was getting from baby form because she has two ultimates, right? One to recall the neck and one is the bomb, right? When she dies, the game is just gonna swap to the Diva mech charge because, well, she's dead and she's gonna respawn in mech form. But when she gets rezzed in baby form, she immediately gets her Diva mech, or rather the Diva remech ultimate, so that she can call the mech and then come back as big form, right? Because otherwise reviving a baby Diva would be very weak, right? Compared to reviving other tanks. So they decided to make it so if baby Diva gets rezzed, she instantly gets her mech, right? And so you here you do get the kill on her, which is good, right? It's also important for you to keep in mind that you should be ready to try to line up shots while she's trying to remech, and she's standing still, and the mech still hasn't come down, so the mech cannot prevent you from hitting shots on her. And also ready to dash to guarantee 1/3 of her health pool from the dash, right? Very important that you try to look to finish off a baby diva after she gets res so that she doesn't get the mech back, right? Good, punish the dash, that position poorly. That dash is actually fine. Why? Because you have your team here, you're doing a soft engagement because you're immediately backing up. You also could do something different instead of doing that. You could have done a soft engagement by immediately wall climbing after. Now you have good positioning, you're threatening to drop on the enemy whenever you want. You also have an interesting angle where they can't really contest you, right? So that would probably be the best approach in this situation. You dash, try to look for a combo on the Moira, pressure them out a little bit, immediately wall climb here and get to this high ground and take this powerful position. Yeah, I was gonna say this blade should never work in no universe, right? In any universe. First, if you're trying to look for an aggressive blade, why? Let me go back a little. Why, after rock climbing, would you walk back instead of forward? Right? You're walking back instead of forward. That means that you end up at the edge of the Mei ult instead of just being properly set up to go for her. To be outside of this. You also use your dash before seeing Fade, before seeing Mercy Guardian Angel, so both of them could have avoided you. And then you end up dashing back in to the Mei ult and into a Diva Bomb instead of trying to finish off the Mercy, right? That was in front of you, low HP, and then you get remacked on, right? There are a lot of different things that happen here. Small little details that make your play go from good to not getting any value at all, right? And those are easy fixes too, right? So that's a good thing, right? You could have easily changed the small amount of things there, and that would have made you go from a blade that had no chance of, or had no player agency over winning that fight where the enemy team is ulting, to an ultimate that guarantees at least 2 kills and you getting out alive, probably, right? Yes, I have done a VOD review in Nepal. I have done a VOD review in Nepal, quick play match. I have done a Gibraltar quick play match review, which was open queue, and I'm doing this one, which is roll queue and silver. So yeah, as you can see, it isn't that your aim is bad. It's a range that is too awkward for you to be consistently landing shots with your primary fire, right? So you should just go here. Wow, look at this. Same high ground position, right? Same height, I should say. Way closer, this means that you're more effective. It also puts you closer to the enemy so that you can drop on them and look for something, and then you dash out if you need to, or dash to commit to a kill and get the kill, right? And then get out if you need to again. Just a simple change in position here, because the high ground is good, but this high ground specifically is bad in this specific situation with the enemy team playing this far back. There is no one preventing you from taking blue box, right? I talked about this call out previously. So you should probably just walk forward and take this. And then you are more flexible and you're a better range for your shots to land more consistently. What is this rank? This rank is silver. Am I going to stream? I don't know. I've done almost 2 hours of VOD reviews, but I'm surprisingly not so tired of speaking. Which is partly done to having gotten a bigger water bottle to hydrate more in the middle of it, but I think I'm gonna be conservative and not push my luck and end up screwing me up with my voice too much, right? And then risk not not being able to stream another time that I want, right? By doing too much. How much time is required to learn Genji? It really depends. It depends on how much time you want to invest into learning theoretical stuff and how much time you want to spend in focused practice, right? Also, what up, Code Doomfist? How are you doing? What up, Lexfi? What I would say is, you can obviously learn to aim just by playing the game, but it's more effective for you to take any aiming practice mode and practice there, right? It's much more concentrated aim practice, right? So it is better for you to learn that. So it really depends on the things that I talked about before, how committed you are to learning and how committed you are to learning fast too, right? Also, you can do VOD reviews just like the people that have been reviewed before and is being reviewed now, right? To try to learn faster by having someone, or either a coach or a high-ranked player, point out mistakes and topics for you to improve on, because VOD reviews give you a very specific thing for you to focus, and that really helps you improve fast, right? VOD reviews are one of the fastest ways to improve in any game, right? Why am I VOD reviewing? I don't remember the name. Also in Discord they swapped their name to I think a Japanese name, which I can't read, so... But in here is the person in the game, Sparrow. Is that his nickname? Also my nose is itchy. Do setup affect gameplay? You mean that if, for example, we have a PC that can only handle 30 FPS, you play worse? Probably. If that is what you mean, yes. So for example, before, it doesn't show because Blizzard is only keeping some data for some reason. Instead of having all previous season, I played from back in season 10, I think. 10, 11 or 12. I don't remember which season I started playing Overwatch. But I think that from the early season 10s, right, up to like season 18, I was playing 30 FPS, and I was playing once every 3 days, right? I was very inconsistent and I had a bad setup, which meant that it was rough for me to actually get past a certain skill level. It is possible, not like you can't reach top 500 in 30 FPS, people have done that, but especially for the time that I was practicing, like once every 3 days, it was rough for me to get past plats. After I got my own PC and was able to get consistent high FPS, right? Then I managed to climb, because not only was I playing with more FPS, which is better to play with, up to a certain point where you have diminishing results, but also because of, what should I say? Also, words. Because I was also playing daily. That's important to notice. I was playing daily, basically. So I got much more practice, and because of that I was way more consistent, right? But yeah. Let's come back to the VOD. You're even now because of the pick the Orisa just got. She's looking to set up an ult. And yeah. I would have just dashed the Mercy immediately. Why? The Orisa is probably getting the ult right as the Mercy is trying to get away from the circle so that she maximizes damage, right? The Mercy not only is pulled in, and this is a really good moment for you to dash. You're dashing four people. They probably want to focus the Orisa while getting out, because if they stay in, let's say you engage these people. Sure, you are in danger from being too close to a lot of enemies, but if they try to stay close to punish you instead of running away, they're gonna die to Orisa. So they can't. There is a dilemma there. So you can just dash these people for free. Also, they are slowed the moment they're pulled. So this makes it very easy for you to dash in, get some great splash damage, turn your attention to the Mercy, which is the easiest target for you to kill in this situation, get some more damage in, and then after the Mercy dies, either by you or the Orisa ult, you have a dash and you're close. Imagine if in this exact situation, well, you don't have to imagine, because in this case you didn't even use your dash, you just dropped, but you would have done more if you just did that dash, right? Not that the way that you did it is necessarily the worst, but it would have been more optimal for you to do that dash, right? What up, Cento, how are you doing? I have a queue for VOD reviews, yes. join my Discord server, go to hashtag VOD reviews and read the pinned message so that you know the format, and then you're gonna be, and you can post a replay for me to review. There are a bunch of people that already submitted VODs today. I'm finishing up the last VOD that I had in yesterday's queue, let's say, and now I have a bunch more in the queue. I'm starting to think that I'm gonna be having more demand that I can actually deal with time-wise, but we will see. Also, thank you. Soon. Wait, why is this bugged? Okay. Soon, not yet, but soon I'm gonna have the requisites for me to apply to the partnership program in YouTube. And after that, usually it's like a month from what I heard for them to get back to you. And then if they do accept you for the partnership program, then I'm gonna be able to monetize the channel. So that means people can become members of the channel, people can donate directly through YouTube. That means that people will be able to watch ads in my videos, which, I'm gonna be saying this now, I'm probably not gonna put many, if any at all, right? And that is something that I have full control over. And I feel like I would rather not ruin the viewing experience with ads. And I would, so instead of getting money through ads, I would probably want to be getting money through other ways, such as memberships and YouTube donations, right? The benefit of ads is that people are supporting me without having to pay. But I feel like it affects me negatively more than it affects me positively by making the viewing experience worse, right? So I will probably monetize my channel in memberships and donations and stuff like that, right? And have no ads whatsoever in my streams, and possibly like one ad at the end of every video, right? Because after you have watched the whole video, the ad doesn't annoy you, right? So that is a moment where I can just go ahead and put an ad, and that shouldn't be that shouldn't feel like, oh hey, I'm ruining the viewing experience, right? I need a little money, yes, I understand that, but one thing that you also have to understand about like doing content creation full time, right? As much as monetizing is great, right? Sure, I have gotten donations before, right? I have set up a Stream Elements page for people to donate, and people have donated there. It is not consistent income that I can go ahead and say, no, I can live off this, right? If someone donates $10 here and there, that is not something that not only is it not consistent, that is not money for me to live a single day, right? Maybe it pays for food one day, right? If I was living alone, right? But there is, as much as, for example, I can monetize the channel soonish, let's say a month and a half, let's say, hopefully. Thanks for the sub, the first magician. With a channel that is, sure, it is growing very fast, and this last video has been doing very well, but 1K people isn't realistically going to support someone to do content full time, right? It is tough for even 100K channels to do this full time, right? So I feel like it's more important for me to make the viewing experience good and bring more people and then make money that way, right? Than for me to go ahead and focus on getting money now and pushing some potential viewers away from the channel, right? So that is why I feel like monetizing with ads is a trap for basically everyone. And also can be done unfairly, which is why I feel like the only ads I'm ever gonna put in the channel are gonna be at the end of videos, right? So that is my plan to monetize the channel, right? Make it very, very fair, to make the viewing experience as good as possible, right? And then once the channel grows to a size where it has enough people that can realistically support me to make this full time, then we're gonna be able to make this full time, right? And then at that point, I don't have to rely on ads probably to make me enough money. I'm probably gonna have partnerships, I'm probably gonna have enough people, members of the channel, right, to actually support me through that way instead of having to push people away through ads, right? That's probably the way that I'm gonna handle stuff, but we're yet to get to that point, right? We're close, but we have yet to get that point, so we can just wait until that time comes to properly make a decision, right? but that's most likely how it's gonna end up being. If I blade plus nano, then Zen and pretend just blade without a nano. Yes, it can be worth to just blade without a nano. That's something that I often do. It is also worth doing something like this. So for example, let's say that this is the Zenyatta. This is the Diva, right? Or rather, actually let's say that this is the Zen. So the Zen is in range of 2 squishes. Unless you land a very precise animation cancel that gets you to kill targets through the Transcendence healing, which is something that I talked about in both my Blade guide and my what's the name? The Overwatch 2 Genji guide, right? Then you can try to blade someone away from the Transcendence and kill them before, right? So if you go here and you dash blade, get to the soldier, the Zen might trance because he hears the blade, but he isn't aware that you are not blading someone that is in range. So then you kill that person and you bait out the trance. That is the highest value that you can get, right? You bait out the ultimate and you get kills. You can also nano blade and try to burst through. You can also nano blade and have your put an anti-nade on the enemy team, right? But so there are definitely various ways to outplay it. You can also try to just hard dive the Zen and force Transcendence before it. You can also nano Genji, and with your dry kit, or not your dry kit, but with your base kit plus the nano, you engage the Zen, force the trance, and then blade instead of blading and then having nano, right? So there are definitely all of these different ways that you can interact with Transcendence that are very interesting, and it really depends on the situation. Okay, here I can blade someone that is split from the team. Here I can just get the nano and nano engage the enemy team. Here I can just blade and bait and then have the nano, right? So it's definitely very fun to go ahead and see what should you do in each situation, right? 29 wins to be able to play comp. Honestly, it is a big grind, but it is making you ready for competitive, right? That is an important thing for you to keep in mind. If you just try to play comp immediately, you would probably play bronze justifiably so, right? Because you're new to the game. And then you probably wouldn't be happy with placing that. Instead, if you have time and then play, let's say 100 matches with 50% win rate to get 50 wins, right? Then you get more used to the game. Now you're, let's say, ready to play comp, and then you place a higher rank because you got more used to the game. Let's say you place gold, right? And then you work from there, right? So it is an important grind to have, right? For you to get more used to the game. It is a complex game, if not or rather, it is definitely one of the highest skill FPS games out there, if not the highest. Not only does it have a wide variety of heroes, and every hero is very unique in a way that is unique to Overwatch, right? Apex has heroes with different personalities. The big thing is the gunplay, not the heroes, not the skills. In Overwatch, the big thing is the heroes, right? And the maps in Overwatch are very complex, the concepts in Overwatch are very complex. So that grind is very important, right? And I feel like the thing that matters the most is if you're having fun, right? Are you having fun? Right? If you're having fun, that's the thing that matters the most. Nice. Very good clean up here. He knows it's itchy. Sorry, excuse me. And yeah, this is gonna be a good win. I feel like this win is kind of unfair. You spawn camp the enemy team for so long that this is why I don't necessarily, or rather, I would rather review a loss than a win. But a close win or a close loss are both good. But like just a stomp, or not only for your team, let's say your team gets stomped or the enemy team gets stomped, those are usually not the best. And this is kind of a stomp for your team on the enemy team, right? With that being said, there are still good things to learn, right? I pointed out a few points here and there, and one of the main things that I will say to you is work on your what is the name? Risk reward. A lot of the biggest mistakes that you made this match were you have a good advantage. why would you throw that away by going for a play that if you get the win, it matters very little. If the enemy wins, you lose a lot, right? There is no reason. So work on your risk reward. Is this play worth it? Right? So I'm gonna quickly go back to an example. You engaging the Moira over here at the very start, right? If you kill the Moira, I'm not just searching the exact moment right now, but if you kill that Moira in the moment that you dash engage her at half HP because she just used Fade, if you kill that Moira with your whole team dead, you're not stalling point. It's not gonna matter much. The biggest thing that you're getting out of that is ult charge. If you stay alive, you get to prevent the enemy or at least fights for positioning, right? On the high ground. You get to not stagger. Granted, you can die payload to prevent that from moving. You can also just lose time from doing that. Because if you don't need to die and your team is already respawning, right? Then that means that if you just dash back, wait for your team, get healed, and then that might mean that you contest the card sooner than if you die payload, respawn, and then have to come back, right? Where is spawn? And then you come back all the way over here with your team to contest, right? So that is the biggest topic that I would tell you. Work on your risk reward. Understand what plays are the best for you to go for, what plays are not worth going for, and also one thing that is very related to risk reward is pathing. Because pathing means that instead of having to, let's say, dash engage this Moira, you can just drop from high ground having your dash to go in the Moira, and then if you fuck up, you dash out, right? So those two topics are very close together, and if you want a video on pathing, I have a video on pathing. You can just look that up in my channel. 30 minutes long. And yeah, those would be the two big things that I would say. Risk reward, and because risk reward is very related to pathing, I would recommend pathing, right? So yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream, I think. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to be trying to not destroy my voice from talking too much. Also, my nose is itchy, like very itchy, and I'm getting very annoyed by that. I don't want to have to be scratching my nose on stream a bunch. So I'm going to be cutting this stream a little short because I also want to go ahead and work on videos, right? I have a settings video that I'm working on, and I want to release it soon. I have a VOD review video of like how do you go ahead and watch a VOD review and see what can you improve from that, right? What kind of submission model should you use, right? Should you look for a close win, a close loss, a stomp, whatever, right? I'm gonna be explaining a lot of stuff about VOD reviews. That's also about another video that I want to release soon. I want to work on short videos for matchups. Thanks for the sub. I'm sorry I cannot pronounce your name. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the sub. What up, Outer? What up, name? What's a VOD? A VOD is here. A VOD, alright, a VOD, the VOD stands for video on demand, right? So, for example, after I finish the stream, the live stream is gonna have a VOD. The VODs of the stream is gonna be up on a playlist, right? So the stream after it is done is a VOD. Replay here. All of these replays are VODs, right? Video on demand. Thank you, Porco. So whenever you play a match, you can go to your career profile, history, replays, and all of these are VODs. And then what is a VOD review? When you, for example, take one of these matches and you either watch it to see what mistakes you made and what you could have done better yourself, or in the case that we're doing, you go ahead, okay, I lost this match in Busan and I won a lot of matches, right? So what did I do wrong in this match? How could I have turned this loss into a win? Let's share this code and send it to someone better than me, right? Okay, here's the code, I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna send to someone. In my case, you can go to my Discord server, go to the channel called #VODReviews, fill up the information, such as the replay code of the VOD that you want me to review, your player name, rank, etc. Right? And then I'm gonna review it from there. Let me quickly do this. Third division. We are currently master. Here. I think this overlay turned out really cool. really cool. I really like this. But yeah, this is gonna be it for this stream. I'm gonna be working on some videos that I want to release soon, and you can look forward to that. If you have more questions, if you want to send VOD reviews, join my Discord server, link is in the description of the video. I also stream Elements bot sent that information not too long ago here in chat, so the link is also there. But yeah, without further ado, thank you all so much for watching, and I will be seeing you all in the next time. Bye bye!